Welcome to the Hundredfold Life Podcast.
What's happening, family? How you doing, man? Glad to be here. It's the Hundredfold Life Podcast. I got my brother, Mr. Impetus, Mikael Rip Taylor.
What it do, y'all? How y'all doing today?
And I got the man, the visionary, Mr. Kendall Pipes. What's good, man?
What's up, fam?
All right, man. How you guys doing today?
Man, I'm doing.
Be honest, Kendall. Be honest, Kendall. Be honest.
I'm doing great. I'm tired. It's been a long day. The 9 to 5 got the best of me. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. This is one of my favorite times of the week, so I'm excited for tonight.
Yeah, no, that's
man,
good.
I'm doing good, man. We continuously get results, blessing families on our credit repair side of our business, credit rescue side, I should say, because we're a little bit different than others. We've been getting great results. Man, it feels good when people give you feedback and you know that you're giving them value, information, and just blessing their lives, man. Like a little butterfly, you know what I'm saying, inside me, like I always say. So I feel good, man. And on my health kick, man, I've been working out 2 times a day. So I'm trying to drop the freshman 15, man. Freshman 15.
No, that's what's up. I need to get some of that motivation over here, get back on the workout. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, bro. I got you whenever you're ready. I got you. I'm gonna put you through a test. Let me get back in shape so when you do it, I look good. So you know.
Yeah, go ahead and work on that. I ain't gonna hold my breath.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm doing pretty good too, man. Glad to finally get to kind of get out of the grind of the day. I know, Kendall, you talked about the 9 to 5, so I just wrapped up with my work day too. So definitely glad to be on the mic with you fellas, you know what I'm saying? And how was y'all weekend? Or maybe, coming up, any kind of weekend plans, what you got going on?
Yeah, I'll let Kendall go. He's the sweet man, so go ahead on.
So we did a little date night this past weekend. We try to get one in every other weekend. My wife's schedule, she's off every other, so we always try to sneak a little date night in on her off weekend. So
Nice.
This weekend she'll be back to the grind, which means I'll be back to the grind. So I'll be working and taking care of the kiddos.
Man,
nice. Well, it's Valentine's Day weekend, and I'm a big believer. Every night is date night for my family, my wife. So I ain't gonna sit up here and be like every other weekend. Every night, date night, baby. Hope you're watching this. But now, man, I got my little weekend hustle. So Valentine's Day this weekend, I ain't doing nothing because my wife is really big on anniversary, Mother's Day, and her birthday. So my daughter's gonna get Valentine's Day this weekend. And to be honest, last weekend, man, nothing. Just grinding for hundredfold. That's all to it. That's all I know right now. I'm in the lion mode, tunnel vision.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Actually, my wife is the same. She's not really too big in the Valentine's Day herself. She's all about the birthday for sure, anniversary, little stuff like that. Kids' birthday. We're actually starting a tradition to where when it's anybody's birthday, we're taking a day off. So, obviously we started with my birthday in October. So I took off, my wife took off, and kids stayed at school. Well, next is her birthday, but when it's, let's say, Malachi's birthday, we're going to take off and then we'll have Malachi. I don't know if we're going to keep him the whole day from school or whatever like that, but might do a little half a day or something like that to where it's just us and him, and then the same with Yella.
When he told me that, I said, man, that's just a way for you to get a day off to yourself. Y'all gonna take, you know what I'm saying? You gonna take a day off for the kid birthday. I said, man, that's a day to get off to yourself, man. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if he'll get the whole day or a half a day. Man, Kendall, he just trying to,
Well, so we do Montessori school. You know what I'm saying? So we do Montessori school for Malachi, and they're all about a routine and stuff like that. And it's it could throw off some stuff, trying to keep them the whole day. But if we can go and, we know when the lunchtime is or something like that, at that point we could take them out. And although it would still be interrupting his schedule, at least we'll be taking them out and then doing some kind of activity because it's his birthday.
Right.
But, we don't want to take him out the whole day and, we got a 1-2 activities or something that we do. And then after that, he's just playing with the blocks and making them mess up the house. Like, he likes going to
it's his
school.
birthday, man.
It is, but he really likes going to school.
He interrupting mommy and daddy time.
Yeah, grown man gifts, huh? You know what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm saying. Look, it was a free time, no kids now, but man, that's good though, man. I mean, you investing time into your wife, family. Starting your own tradition. Everybody's tradition is gonna be different.
Yeah.
Marcus well, he ain't at the age to go to school, but when he do go to school, he going to school. Montessori, Montessori, China-sori, Ghana-sori. It don't matter. He going to school and he's staying there. And hopefully I'm in a position to where I'm off all day anyways.
You're right. That's what we're working for.
So
That's what we're working for.
Generational wealth. He got to go get it because I'm out here. I had to work hard for what we had now with the family, so I got to teach him the right standards and morals. So, but I like that, bro. That's deep. That's deep, man. That's deep.
That's what's up. Well, you know what? You actually, again, I might have to call you a little. Well, I was gonna say I might have to call you a little segue king, but I'm probably not because your head too big already.
But no, I mean, it's not my head. It's just natural. I can just, I assist. I pass the ball. You know what I mean? So,
but what I was getting at is, talking about that's what we're working for. Those are goals we're trying to set.
Right.
And man, this is really what I was wanting to talk about. Something that happened this week where, again, shout out to Credit Rescue. Want some more info? Hit up the website, www.live100fold.com. You know what I'm saying? We get you on a free consultation. But I put that plug in real quick because this is where this story derives from. We had a client that came in, a member of ours that came in, and, we're telling them, we give them the whole rundown, hey, make sure that you do this, make sure you're not applying for new credit, stuff like that, as we're working on your file and trying to increase your scores.
Right.
Well, I had a member, give me a call and was like, hey, actually it was a text. It was like, hey, I went and I refinanced my car. Is that okay? And now I'm over here like, now we done already signed my man up, and it's all love, if you know who I'm talking about, it's all love. I already talked to him, you know what I'm saying? But I thought this was a teaching moment because we already done signed him up. We done sent some letters off for him, you know what I'm saying? Now we work in the process. My man knows that it wasn't a good idea to do it.
Hey, anytime you gotta call somebody,
yeah,
anytime you call somebody and say, "Was that a good idea?"
I'm working on the file, so you could have just not said nothing and just let me see it, and you hit me up. That was messing up, and the biggest reason why this is big is because this particular family has a goal to get into a house. Now, I'm not talking about getting into a house in a year. I'm not talking about getting into a house in 6 months. His goal is to get into a house in 3 months.
Right.
So we are already pushing time. And we know we don't got no guarantees, but we know we've been getting some results, So, basically what I was thinking is how, like, man, you got the financial goal. We give you the plan on what we're doing. We know we're on a short time limit. But he couldn't hold back his habit because what he said was, it was beginning of the year. Hey, I just had to get the refinance in. I had to go and do this and I'm not against a refinance or anything like that. No. Again, you have a specific goal. So if you want and you're saying you are going to achieve a certain goal, there's certain habits that you have to follow. It's like certain decisions are made for you by saying that you're going to reach this goal. And I just thought that was like real deep in a sense of like, man, like we mess ourselves up so much because we we always have a milestone, but we never really consider the task that we have to do and the discipline that we have to do those tasks to get to the goal that we want. So, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pass the mic real quick because that had got me a little hot, a little heated, you know what I'm saying? And I know it's a refinance. We probably not gonna see it in 45 days.
Right.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, he
Yeah.
probably gonna see some results and it's probably gonna shoot down
Right.
or not move up as
fluctuate.
much anymore, whatever like that. But that could have been prevented. Stay on the course, stay on the process. So what's your thoughts on some of that when it comes to goals and habits?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna let Kel take it because I know
Okay,
I
good.
would, because
Good.
you called me out last week, called me a ball hog.
Yeah, he was like James Harden, man. Right now we
hey,
the big three.
you can't say that about James Harden right now. My man with the Nets and he passing the rock. He can be Kyrie.
You're right.
He can be
So
Kyrie.
look, but look, I'm LeBron when it comes to 100-fold. So let me take it over right here and talk about this. When you said habits and goals, it was real deep. Because then I went and did some research. All right, I started thinking about, man, you always hear about habits and how long it takes to get a habit. So I did some research. I got my little notepad right here, and Dr. Laley said it takes 66 days to create a habit, right? That's 1,584 hours. And when you talk about financial habits, of course, you can't do things like a refinance every day, but there's certain financial habits that you should do, like checking your bank account, and just different things like that in finances. That if you started a habit in 66 days, I mean, you should have a long, and like you say, he has a short-term goal. But if he stayed with the habit and continue to do that habit over time, I don't think, they go hand in hand. You will always reach your goals, right?
Right.
So it was kind of deep when you was like, man, he had a habit. And I started thinking deeper and deeper into it. And I was like, you know what the problem with a lot of people is? They never even stayed on track with the habit to even make it a goal. Like they never even stayed with the habit long enough to reach their goal. Because most people are going to break it before it can happen. So for instance, like he's in a program, right? And we tell you this program might take 4 to 5 months. Well, let's throw the 66 days out the window. At 4 months, that's almost 30, 69. That's almost 120 days that you're doing something. And I think if somebody was to stick with it that long a period of time, they can reach a lot of their goals throughout the process, whether it's in our program, whether it's in their personal finances. But like I'm saying, like if you check your bank account every day, if you check your bank account every day for 2 or 3 months, I'm pretty sure that will become a habit for you to be on your finances. What goes in and out your account? What you're paying for, what subscriptions you got coming out. But that person that maybe check their bank account once a week or, every other week, check it only when they spend something, they look at it like, oh man, this came out, you're never going to reach a financial goal. Same thing for savings. If you're not and then I even broke it down like this, man. So savings, most people get paid every 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's 52 weeks in a year. So they get paid 26 times. So if you want to be honest, they need to be on a saving track for at least 2 years for even it to become a habit into their finances. I did some deep, but I would say I did deep on this, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You speaking to me a little bit right there. You talk about the savings part because again, I just had a live of a couple weeks ago when I'm talking about, hey, look, what if you just decided to take, and even if 10% is too much, let's say you got to start, like let's just start somewhere. What if you started with every check $100, you go into the savings and you don't touch it? If you create that habit, man, you will make a lot more money to be able to have to, whether that's invest, whether that's emergency fund, whatever it
is. Go past that though, but they got to do it for a long period of time for it to become a habit. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Because you might save $100 here and there. You might save it, I done hit $2,000. And then you go from being saving to spending because you see the money.
And then you want to get a new little shiny toy. No, I got you.
So it was deep when you said that.
Before you lose the mic.
I
was throwing it to Kindle.
Yeah, throw it to Kindle. I'm just saying. I'm saying it's huge. You know what I'm saying? It's huge. So.
Yeah. One word that has been ringing in my ear as we're having this conversation is alignment. And your really alignment is something that's very important in life in general. But definitely in terms of goals and habits, right? We're talking about financial goals and financial habits, but you could really expand this out to anything, really. You have to have alignment between your goals and your habits in order for you to ultimately get to your destination, right? So we can take a car analogy, right? What happens when your car is misaligned, when your tires are misaligned? Your car pulls to one direction or the other. So when you're not aligned directly, to get you to your ultimate destination, you're always going to be, fighting against being pulled here or pulled there. And that goes back to the example that you gave about, you may do good for a little while with saving money, and then you got this $2,000 in there, and you're like, oh man, like the new Jordans finna come out, or oh man, the PS5 about to drop, or and maybe normally those are things that you wouldn't have even had access to because you had not been building a habit of saving. But now that you are saving, now you have access to some stuff that you didn't have access to before because you're keeping the money back. And you're like, oh, I can do more. But it's like, but was that your goal though? Was your goal to get a PS5? Or was your goal to save money for a down payment on a house? Or was your goal to, pay down your debt? Or was your goal to, do something for a loved one or somebody that you value? And
you just said something big, man. A lot of clients that we have, not to hog the mic, but man, a lot of clients we have, they always got the goal when they got the money.
Right.
Goal when they don't have the money. So, and I say that to say, like, all right, let me go back a little bit, because like tax season's coming around, right? So when you get that money back, right, it's $4,000 or $5,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when most people want to start making their goals. Like, oh, I want to buy a house, or I want to purchase a car, I want to do this. They never want to have that goal when they don't have the funds, or when the habit's not intact. It's easy to have a habit of saving when you got money already coming, a big lump sum of money. Then right. Then that's when you want to say, oh, I'm gonna spend this, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But it's when you're in the trenches, when you don't have that lump sum of money, or when you're in the process of getting that new job, or this, saying like, I'm gonna start doing this, or no matter how I fall off or how low my money gets, I'm gonna still put that 20, 30, 50, or $100 into that savings account. I'm gonna still, put this. So I think habits, man, I think every goal, you got to have a habit to even reach that goal, even if it's not financial, you know what I mean? Even if it's just like working out,
So I want to, and now you done said working out and not having a habit of doing that. So now I'm about to even probably get some preaching to for me. But I want to ask first, y'all opinion, right? Why do you think people don't consider and actually execute the habits or the tasks that needs to be done in order to get those goals?
Why they don't execute it? Because it's easier to quit and not execute it than do it. I mean, everybody looks for that easy way out.
But
the mentality, the mindset is always programmed to be negative. The mindset, you have to make a positive mindset, because if you want to work out, it's easy to say, oh man, it's cold outside today, I don't think I'm gonna work out. Or it's, I'm gonna get paid more next week on my next check. I'm gonna work overtime on my next check, so I'm not gonna save on this check. Or I'm gonna just go out to eat on this check because man, I'm gonna get paid next week anyways. Like that's how the mind's programmed to be,
Yeah, well, and I can expand on that a little bit further, Kel. I like what you're saying about mindset. That is very important. We talked about that on our last podcast, mindset, and I think that's going to keep coming up. I know that's something that I'm definitely going to keep harping on mindset because that's really the heart of what we're trying to do. Right. is to shift people's mindset, is to help shift the mindset to a mindset that produces a 100-fold lifestyle. Because here's the thing, when you don't have, let's just say you look at people who may be entrepreneurs and they have a 7-figure business. The only way that they were able to get there, yes, they needed 7-figure strategies, right? You need 7-figure strategies to get there, but you need also a 7-figure mindset. If you have 7-figure strategies, but you don't have a 7-figure mindset, then you're not going to be able to implement whatever those strategies are. because strategies are a dime a dozen. There's a lot of good strategies out there. There's more than a million ways to make $1 million. There's more there, there's lots of different ways to lose weight. There's lots of different ways to get out of debt. There's lots of different, right? There's so many different, the common colloquialism, there's so many ways to skin a cat, right? So the mindset part is important. But I think, to go back to directly answer your question, Key, about why don't people build the habits, I think a part of it is a lack of education. Like, they don't know what habits to build.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have the understanding that in order to get from point A to B, you need to do this, this, and this.
Because most likely they've been used to doing the wrong habits.
Right. So they, they're excuse me, their habits have been built for a paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. A lot of people. And listen, this isn't about how much money you make. This isn't about whether you flip burgers at McDonald's or whether you own a McDonald's. Yeah. Right. It's not about how much money you make. There are so many people, middle income earners, upper middle class, and they're all living a paycheck. They live in a $800,000 house and they got, 3-4 cars, but they're still living paycheck to paycheck. They just got bigger paychecks, and so, but it's a mindset thing, you know what I'm saying? And that's something that my wife and I, encountered. Neither one of us came from money. But we were, blessed and fortunate enough to, have, decent careers and all of that. And so, we do pretty well now. But
we can tell by the plants in the back right now. We can tell by the plants in the back. I can tell you living lavish over there.
The plastic classics.
Yeah.
All plastic.
I had to put green in my background so I could feel like him, feel like money a little bit. Like he smelled like money over there, so I wanted to feel like money over here. But that's good stuff.
Man, we try, but literally, not coming from money, we did well with like saving and stuff. We did, but I think because we started living off of a little bit, we were kind of already in a paycheck to paycheck cycle, if you will. Mm-hmm. And it really wasn't necessarily that we had bad habits. We really just didn't have enough to go around in the beginning. We were one income. My wife wasn't working. It was just me. And so, and we just stretched it and we did what we had to do. We ate beans and rice and, but we were still doing things. We were still giving and, tithing and sowing seeds and doing all that stuff and helping people. But what happened was, when the income started to expand now, when you spend so much time focusing on what you don't have, and when you start getting a little bit of money, now you're like, oh, I can have this now. Oh, I can have that now. Oh, I can have that now. And it's a vision thing. Like, the vision is small. So you build habits according to your vision, right? So like, I don't know if y'all do, but I know growing up, we called tax time Black Christmas. The refund checks, that's when everybody gonna get that's when you're gonna get the real Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you might get a couple of little things that mama was able to put on layaway for Christmas, just so you don't feel left out. But when that refund hit, like, it's Black Christmas. Like, we finna go shopping. Everybody finna get some shoes. We finna get some new outfits. Like, so, and that's a mindset. That's a way of thinking that it builds a habit. And so now, right, which, by the way, I had this conversation with somebody the other day. I'm not going to call their name, but I was like, there's a reason that it's called a tax refund.
It's their money.
The government's not giving you any money, okay? When you get a tax refund, it means you overpaid what you actually owe the government, and they're giving you your money back.
But I also think I like what you're saying by, like, mindset, and we all on the same page, but it's also a cultural thing.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a cultural thing, because not even saying, talking with the people I've been encountering with and changing their lives. A girl made a great comment to me today, and she said, and this kind of like going to go off a little bit, but she was pretty much telling me, she said, look, when I was raised, my mama did tell me about savings and budgeting, but she never told me how to do it. Right. And it goes back to the lack of knowledge. She was like, they don't teach it in schools. It's not taught in schools. It's not taught in college. When you're going through the union, the only thing they tell you about sign up for a bank account or sign up for a credit card. Here's a slice of pizza. They're never telling you how to actually maneuver, use it, leverage that. And so when it goes back to what you're saying, it's definitely a culture thing because a lot of people in the Black community, let's be real with each other, not everybody's parents took time to teach them how to do it. Like I remember seeing on my parents' door their budget system, their bills. My mom and dad used to put their bills on their door and the date that it was due and highlight it or check it off as they went down. Of course, that might not be the new school budget or paying or system now, but it was a tool in the system that they use that worked for them.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say because it really don't matter. It's whatever works for you.
But it's a habit though. It goes back to a habit, right?
Yeah.
So
it's not a one size fits all. So
Yeah. So it was like a habit that they had that I remember and it instilled in me. And to this day, it's funny because if you go look on my wife's calendar that sits on the table, it has the bills when it due and the date. That's the way she does it. Now I'll be honest, I'm a little different, but I go by her system because it works better for both of us. Because I know I can go to that calendar, look and say, oh, that's due date for that. That's that. I'm a little different. I'm a little more I can't look at just the calendar. I got to see I like to see in a itemized, spreadsheet. Yeah. But that's my CPA background. I mean, it's I want to see the itemized of each. Okay, when it's paid, what we got coming out. I'm more step by step with it, right? And she's more okay, this is due this day. I'm gonna make sure to get paid. I'm gonna do this day. And that's cool. We make it work together.
This episode of the 100-Fold Life podcast is brought to you by Credit Rescue from 100-Fold. Credit Rescue specializes in helping families improve their credit score and take control of their financial futures. Credit Rescue also offers a secure credit card to help build your credit with positive trade lines. Visit www.live100fold.com or call us at 512-777-0427 for more information. Credit Rescue. Better credit will make you do a happy dance. So I want to ask then, because we can agree that a lot of this is a little bit cultural, on the mindset side, right? And it is definitely a lack of education. But it's funny because it's a lack of education for certain cultures because it ain't like that for everybody. So let's say we got a listener out there who's like, look, I feel what y'all saying, and I agree. And you know what? I'm trying to get out of the rat race. But to Kendall's point, I don't know what habits to build, right? What advice could you give to help them on how to build right or good
Let me
habits?
go first, Kendall. Let me go first.
Bro, you got
it. First, reach out to 100-Fold. 512 777-0427. That's what I'm gonna first say. If you having that much trouble, let us get with the team. Let us sit down with you and get that situated. That's first and foremost. I want to say that before Kendall dove into it. But now, if you really got a problem in that situation, I think first is you really gotta reach out and get some help. I don't think you try to fight the battle of your own. If you can't do it on your own right now, why try to fight it on your own? Yeah. You can listen to the podcast, but I really think if you sat down with somebody and they showed you tangible things to get to there, I think it'd be better for you than just saying okay, I'm gonna take this pen and paper and I'm gonna say, they say write down all my money. Okay, they say subtract all my bills and what's left over. I got to put this in the account, or pay 10% tithes first, 10% to myself. Then I do all my bills. You can do that, but I think the best way for you is to get with somebody. And then my other part to that, before Kendall takes it over, I'm gonna just say honestly, you got to really, really, really be committed to making those changes and being those habits. Mm-hmm. Because even if we do give you the information, you still need to apply it and do it. But Kendall, take it away and tell them how they can get it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, there's like I said before, there's a million ways to skin a cat, right? Like there's just so many different ways to go about it. I'll tell you, for me, when I'm lacking in knowledge or information about something, I just go out there and find it, right? Like information 101, like Google. Right, go to Google, go to YouTube, right? That's just a quick thing, right? If you just have a question about budgeting, right? And we put information out there. You can go and check out our social media. We have live videos that we've done to talk about budgeting and paying yourself and some basic financial principles. And we post stuff on our social media and all of that. So we put information and content out there consistently, because we believe in providing information and opportunity for the people that need it and want it. So that's what Hundredfold exists for. But so definitely just go out there. The internet is an awesome tool at your disposal. And that's just for the information part. Now, where you're really going to be able to accelerate, because like I said, you can have a system, but if you don't know how to work that system, you don't know how to apply that system, you don't have the mindset to implement that system, then you're going to stall out somewhere. And that's where coaching and mentorship is really, really important.
Bingo.
And so I would say, if you have somebody, let's just say you have someone, in your circle, they might not be your best friend, they might not be somebody that you're super close with, but if you have somebody in your circle that, it looks like, maybe they have some good financial principles, or, it looks like they have their stuff together financially, maybe you reach out to them, now this where you have to combat pride.
Yeah, let's say, yeah, you gotta.
This where you have to combat your pride, and
But
you have
if you're really hungry for that learning, then that pride gonna take that back seat, because the knowledge and stuff that you got,
right,
it ain't taking you nowhere. You gotta
exactly.
upgrade.
Or this is something that you hear often, from motivational speakers and stuff. What's worse, the pain of change, or the pain or the pain of regret, right? You're gonna have a little bit of pain in changing, right? But what's going to be the opposite pain, or the pain of regret? You have to weigh those two things, right? There may be this pain of, hey, man, I'm normally real private. I don't tell people about my struggle, or that I'm in debt, or I've got this going on, or I got that going on, I got bad credit, and I'm trying to figure out how to get out. And now, listen, you don't have to go and tell somebody your whole life story and give them all your business. But I think if you just go out there and you just, be genuine and honest and say, hey, I'm looking, to learn some tips and principles on how to manage my money better and how to create a better financial future for myself. Is that something that you can help with? It's simple as that. And what you would be surprised to know is, man, people love sharing their knowledge. People really do love sharing their knowledge. Now,
Yeah.
There's a caveat to that, because some people have a little bit of like a competition mindset, and they don't want to give away certain things. That's whatever. We're gonna pray for those people, because if one come up, we all come up. That's how I believe. But most people are really, really open to share. A lot of our growth as entrepreneurs has been networking and rubbing elbows with other people who are in the same industry, in the same spaces we're in. And we share knowledge, and we've grown since we started this company to a point where people are coming to us now. People are asking us, hey, how can I learn from you? What are you guys doing that's working? What have y'all tried? Hey, what do y'all think about this? Or what do you think about that? So community mentoring and coaching, that would be a really, really vital part of you really getting to that next level of growth in your personal finances.
Yeah, no doubt, because that's actually man, one of the books that I'm rereading, The Richest Man in Babylon. That's like a principle in there. It's like you're gonna get that advice from someone who's already doing what you're trying to succeed in. And that's the whole thing, whether it's mentorship, coaching. And one thing that you said, Kendall, that's actually in that book as well, is that they actually want to share that information with you. They are looking for somebody to, and you know who the best people is, who we really don't be trying to rock with like that? The older generation.
Yep.
The older generation, they got the keys. They done already did the process. They know it.
Yeah.
But us young folk ain't really trying to go out there and sit with somebody who gonna ramble but they're gonna drop some jewels, some nuggets.
And one of my greatest regrets in life is not asking my great grandmother more questions before she died. She wasn't rich or nothing like that. I mean, she didn't have an education past the 7th grade. She never learned how to drive. She didn't have a driver's license, but man, that woman was packed full of wisdom. And the older generation, they do have so much wisdom to share. So don't sleep on that. Like,
that
wisdom.
But be careful, because I'm gonna combat on that a little bit. I'm gonna go backwards on y'all a little bit. Just hear me out. depending on the situation, because some of the older generation, and it goes back to a culture thing,
Yeah.
they'll try to like knock you down on certain things too, or like refrain you from doing certain things. So
Well, but yeah,
I agree with that.
that's why.
I
But
get that.
no, I think that's if you're trying to just talk to anybody about anything.
Right. You got
But
to.
if my older person that I'm reaching out to is a jeweler, I can go and ask them about things in a
Yeah,
jewelry game. But if he
you're
don't know
right.
anything about building a house and I ask him, he might be like,
Uh,
yeah, but that's
you
gonna be
you
this and
you
that.
you're
And
100% correct, but that's what I'm saying. I'm combating because you said reach out to the older people. We need to let them
well,
know,
yeah,
like
but
reach
it's
out
all
to
in
the
the,
person with the
it's
right
all in
thing.
the
You know what I'm
context of,
saying?
yeah, but it's in
Right.
the context of what I started with. Like you reach
Yeah,
out to those people who have actually have some success, some
Right.
experience in the
yeah.
area you're trying to go in.
Right.
That
I
is
agree
where
with
the
that. Yeah,
wisdom is at that
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the wisdom.
Yeah.
Because if you just
And
go to any
and
old person, they'd be
also
like,
to your
No.
"Oh,
point, Kel, because you may, because you can't always judge a book by its cover. Either you may go to somebody, they may look like, oh, they have this or they have that, and then you start talking to them and you realize, okay, yeah, it's not really what I thought. So never,
Mhm.
never just take somebody, what somebody's saying and be like, oh, their word is gold.
Yeah,
You know,
actually, I kind of think
identify the resource. That's the biggest thing. You got to identify what the resource actually is. Like, where is it coming from? Where is it? The intentions of the resource too. But yeah,
I
definitely.
actually think some of that is almost like a courting process.
right,
You kind of you see like, man, I want to learn about being an entrepreneur. You talk to a few different people that's killing the
Oh,
game in that area
no,
because you could actually like talk to somebody who's doing really well, but you know what? You just don't like their flavor,
they
or
might not be a good teacher. They might not be a good
they
teacher
might
either.
not be a good teacher,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
they might do stuff that you might not be really
right,
comfortable with. But again, there's more than a million ways to make $1 million. So they got the people out there. You just find somebody else that's your cup of tea. But it's eventually just like dating and figuring out who's that person you want to be married
Mm.
to. And then once you find that person,
yeah,
then you lock in. Then you really dive into cultivating that relationship and building that knowledge
yeah.
to extract the wisdom that you need from it.
But don't be like me and do some bad dating in the beginning. You
Oh
gotta.
boy,
Hopefully,
there
your
you
dating
go.
start off good. Don't start your dating off
Don't
bad.
don't put all your dirty laundry out there now.
All right. Hey, you
Make
got
sure you date good.
you
Because
got to
I
get in
wasn't.
there, survey the land, man. If
You
it don't
need some good
work out,
friends. Make sure you have good friends around you that can tell you who you're dating
Hey,
too.
it's all
Because
about the circle.
sometimes you could be dating and you might go on a couple dates. You might think the dates turn out good because you got a little something out of you want out of the date, but the date ain't really all that good. Misled and misinformed. Now, hey, but I want to say something right quick. Why
What's
y'all got
good?
me joking? Now Kendall, when we said give like tangible things. And I'm not taking the podcast over, but I had wrote down something. And you said paycheck to paycheck, right? And I'm actually kind of like y'all too. You was like you living paycheck to paycheck, and we sitting up here talking about financial habits, financial goals. It kind of like what Keontae said, like how can you tell somebody that's living paycheck to paycheck? We could tell them like reach out to us, but say they can't afford to reach out to us, say they can't afford it. What should we tell people? And I already know what I got my put. But I wanted to hear what y'all two would put because I wrote that down. I've been looking at that word paycheck to paycheck. And sometimes people might come to this podcast or this platform to get some information that is living paycheck to paycheck. So I was trying to think, man, could we tell them or share with them, because we was there at one time too. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't sit there like we wasn't there, but how do we go from living paycheck to paycheck to where we at in our lives now?
yeah. I mean, honestly, man, it's baby steps, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not gonna just go from a paycheck to paycheck lifestyle to just all of a sudden now you're living in abundance where you have enough, not just enough, but you have more than enough. You got room to grow, you got room to invest, you got room to bless other people. You don't get there overnight. You get there in time. But you just have to start somewhere. You take baby steps. You have to set some sort of foundation to build off of. And man, the most basic foundation, honestly, if you're in a paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, you need stats, you need data. And when I say that, what do I mean? I mean you need a budget. You need a budget. You need a written down, itemized breakdown of, hey, where is my money going? And you can do that in different ways. You can, for the longest, before I got into, using apps and all this stuff, I used to budget on paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, my paycheck is going to be about $550, and boom, boom, boom. I'm $100 gonna go to this, 25 gonna go to that, 15 gonna go to this, 30 gonna go to this. Like, and that's how I used to budget. You know what I'm saying? And I'll budget all the way down to zero. You know, one thing with budgeting that I really want to say is, and it took me a while to learn this, but when I learned this, it really, really made a big deal in me getting out of a paycheck to paycheck mindset and way of living into an abundance mindset and an abundance way of living. Is I had this revelation that when someone looks at your budget, they should be able to know what your priorities are. They should know what your goals are just by looking at your budget. No extra explanation. You know, this comes from a biblical principle: where your treasure lies, there your heart will be also. Right? Where you place the most valuable things you have, which are time and money, then that's how we know where your heart is. So just by looking at your budget, I'll know what your priorities are. Right? If you make $2,000 a month and you spending $400 on eating out, I know that's eating out is a priority, is a bigger priority to you than maybe getting out of debt.
Is it priority? Oh, yeah, you said it right, but I think they just got the priorities messed up. You know what I mean?
Your priorities are misplaced. Right, but you get to determine what your priorities are. It's something like, hey, like I'll get, like I have a family member. They not necessarily living paycheck to paycheck, but they don't make a lot of money. But a priority for them is, they're like, every time I get paid, I want to buy myself something, right? Like I want a physical, tangible something that I can hold and see and look at as proof that I went out and I earned income. And hey, that works. And they budget for it though.
Yeah.
And so, and I can see there's a line item in their budget for, hey, when I get paid $50, I'm gonna buy myself a pair of shoes. Like every paycheck, I'm gonna buy myself a pair of shoes every paycheck. So, but priorities. So you have to. So if you're looking at, you saying your priority is to get out of debt, and you don't have a debt payoff line item in your budget, then do you really want to get out of debt? Right. So that's one of the things that I did. And when I started looking at, we said, hey, we want to be givers. That's something that my wife and I have prioritized since before we were married. That's something we pray for. We want to be givers. No matter how much we have, we want giving to be something that we're known for. And I'm happy to say that is something that most people who know us will say, oh yeah, Ann and Kendall, yeah, they're givers. They have an open hand. And so, and we were able to do that in times where it didn't maybe make sense to give even as much as we did, but because we prioritize it and we put it, hey, we're giving. And sometimes we would have to sit and make decisions to say, hey, are we going to dip down to giving for this month? Or are we going to maybe not go out on date night? Maybe we're going to do date night in, so that we can give something, because giving is a priority to us. Right. So when you're budgeting and you do it on paper, now you get to really physically see what's happening. You can even do this with your time. And I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but I recently did this. I did a time budget, and I literally line item. These are all the different categories and areas and activities in my life in a week. Right. And here's how much time I'm spending on each of these things. Here's how much time I'm spending with my wife, with my kids, on my day job, working in.
That's huge.
Oh,
I think a lot of people need to do that. I don't think people do that. They don't do time.
You know what I'm saying? Here's, I 3 hours to go to church on Sundays, and an hour to work out every day, or 20 minutes to eat lunch, or 30 minutes to eat lunch. Like literally, go to the micro level and really look at it. And what I did was, before I looked at my calendar, I just wrote the categories down. And I wrote, hey, this is how much time I want to spend or I need to spend in these areas. And what I realized is that I was trying to do more in a week than I had time to do.
Yep.
There's more hours in a week.
Yeah, there's only 168 hours in a week, and I had made a time budget for like 175 hours, you know, and so it's like, hey, bro, you over budget. Right. You got to cut things back. So budget is real.
Key. He lied to us for a minute because he said before he started using apps and all this stuff he was on paper, he's saying, Alexa, put down 500 on my budget. Alexa, pay my bill. Alexa, because he Alexa guy.
Listen, when I started budgeting, bro, I had just dropped out of Southeastern. I had just dropped out of college. I moved back home with my mama. I was sharing a bedroom with my 13-year-old brother, sleeping on the twin size bed, smelling his funky gym socks every night. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you better start budgeting. I gotta get up out of here now.
Come on, that's what I'm talking about. Now you got that motivation.
Hey, but that's like what I put down too. Not before Keanu take it up. I put, budget. Take all subscriptions off your money. Like takes all subscriptions out your account. Because people get caught into and I'm talking about paycheck to paycheck people in general too. But you don't want those subscriptions on your account because you don't know when you might have that last $20, $30, and then boom, Apple come out, Apple Music come out, Apple Storage come out, Apple Games come out, or Netflix comes out, Hulu comes out. Then I was also thinking about too, if you are in a paycheck to paycheck situation, you need to rethink your mindset and think about you had said recent, but I was thinking like, man, see how you can generate more revenue, whether it's getting a side hustle, baking, selling cookies on the side of the road. I don't know, going to the barbershop with a little.
Man, come get at me. I got something for you.
But people used to. You remember being in the barbershop and they used to come with the pecan candy and the sweet potato pies. Go make that and go sell that, or either go back to school and get some education.
Look, this is what I was getting at. This is what mine was. It's kind of a mixture of the both, because basically, when you're trying to make that transition from paycheck to paycheck to, not living paycheck to paycheck, I don't know if you want to call it abundance or however you want to look at it. It is just like eating the elephant bite by bite, little by little, progress here, progress there. Yeah. So what I would look at that is, yes, definitely getting a budget and figuring out, what all of your expenses are and seeing if you can cut or anything like that. Yeah. But another thing that people look over, I really wrap this all into building your financial house. And that has so many different areas to it, just like a regular house when you build, you have a lot of different areas when you're building a house, whether it's starting with that foundation, doing the walls, getting the roof, and some of the early things not to disturb, but while you are on this track of getting your financial situation together, you have to consider, what happens if I left this life earlier than what I'm expected. Mm-hmm. And if you have kids and stuff, what happens with them after that? Yeah. So when it comes to getting your financial house in order, that's talking about your real needs. Like if you are a young adult and you got debt, you got a mortgage, you got children, there's no reason at all you should not have life insurance. Right. Period. Right. And then once you can get that, you already got to have your car insurance, unless you're trying to be out breaking the law, you got to have those things. Do you have a will? You should have those things. And all of these things are areas that even 100-fold have access to help you in getting those things going, whether it's a product that we offer ourselves or it's just someone that we're connected with. Like we said, you don't need to go talk to your parents who may not believe in life insurance, talking about life. No, how about you talk to an actual licensed agent just to see, okay, what's the real purpose of life insurance?
Get yourself a team. You need a team. We talk about it on other.
You got to get your
team.
Know,
exactly. They know from others. We get a team, man. Get a team. Get people on your team that you got to have, to
but
get
those things are actual necessities.
Absolutely.
And then you can
That's
look
good,
at
man.
that and then figure out, okay, now what is the actual need after those things and what is the actual desire that I have. And then you try to minimize it. And again, it's not to say that you can't have no kind of fun and plan for things that are a desire, but you got to be balanced. You can't be dipping into your savings to take care of some stuff because you just you overspend in food or whatever the case is.
I got a good question for you, Key, because you're on a good topic. What do you tell that person that is paycheck to paycheck, right? You just said all that, but I'm paycheck to paycheck right now, right? I'm really tight on money. After I pay my bills, I got kids, I got all this. I don't really have any extra money. How can you not really convince, but how can you tell that person the importance of having like a will or life insurance? Because so many people might not have car insurance, right? They paycheck. Think about the person that's really struggling. How can you really convince that person that, what I'm saying? How can you convince that person that the importance of, because let's be honest, I wasn't always on the life insurance. I got it now. Because I'm older, I got kids, but what do you tell that person that, hey man, I'm struggling? That I don't think life insurance is my priority. I don't think, I don't have a car. I'm trying to get on my feet. I'm paycheck to paycheck. How can you tell that person that the life insurance and that is important to them? You know what I'm saying?
How my opinion is, you can't really convince anybody of anything in that regard. They have to have the foresight / desire to want to grow in those areas. So let's say, for full transparency here, I am actually a licensed life insurance agent, right? We see that most of the time the hot topics of life insurance comes up when there's actual death nearby.
Yep.
Whether that was the coronavirus or something that goes on in your family or something like that. At that time, when it's time to pay for funeral service, when it's time to be like, man, these bills are still coming in, but this was the breadwinner, where are we going to get this money from? That is some of the importance of having life insurance, not just for burial, but for income replacement, because there's no amount of money that's going to replace a person. But life still goes on, especially if you have children. They still got to go to school. They still got to eat. They still got to, why not help out that spouse or that partner or whatever, you know what I'm saying, by having a plan just in case, to be able to have some funds that's allocated to them. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing, to where it's like, again, it's about being disturbed. It's about the reality of these kind of things happen. Are your family prepared for it? And I'm the type of life insurance agent where it's not that I want to lock you up for X amount, like a long, long time. I want to actually put you in a position of, okay, look, financial house, life insurance taken care of. Let's get on this savings. Let's get on this retirement plan. Let's get on this stuff that eventually the need of life insurance isn't going to be the same need 30 years from now.
Right.
But because you have also investments and retirement and stuff like that in place, now you're moving to a point where, yeah, I don't need life insurance. I'm self-insured. So if something goes wrong, I got my money out working, making money for me. And those are the kind of things to be able to have stuff for not only your children, but your children's children and so forth. But again, those are the type of concepts that in our community, we don't really hear about, we don't like to think about. And a lot of people don't, because, you're talking about life insurance. Nobody don't want to think about dying. But when you start having a family and stuff, there are some things where you do have to think about, as far as what happens after me. And this could be in a sense of building wealth, and this is a sense of protecting. How do I protect my family in the event that I'm not present to physically do that?
That's some good stuff. I'm glad you killed that. You killed that. You killed it. You killed it.
That's good. That's very important, man.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, look, man. Hey, this was an awesome conversation today on a number of levels. I mean, there was some jewels, there was some nuggets in that one. So I'm loving the topic. Before we get on out of here, any parting words for the fam?
I'm gonna say the last thing I got to say, and I heard it. I'm a coin it from Eric Thomas. Be a steward of your opportunity. Steward means taking care of something. Stewardship. but be a stupid opportunity. Let's not always get caught so much into what we don't have and be faithful and steward the things we do have. God bless you with that new car. You need to clean that new car. God bless you with that house. Take care of the house. He's not gonna give you another house if you're not taking care of the house. You know, you're not appreciating the one. That wife you got, appreciate that wife you got, because you might think of, oh, this girl over here, another situation. Appreciate the family you got. Appreciate your mom. Appreciate your dad. Appreciate your love and your brothers. These two gentlemen on the same screen with me, I call my brothers. I appreciate them. I take care of them because I know they're gonna take care of me in return. God's not gonna bless me with another group of friends like these two if I'm not even taking care of the ones I have right here. So be a steward of the opportunity. Be faithful for the things that you have. And that's all I got to say on that. Love y'all.
Yeah,
absolutely. There's really nothing to say after that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, I'm not. You got something you said, Kendall? Because other than that, you
wrap that mud up, put a bow on it.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the 100-Fold Life Podcast with my man Kel, my man Kendall. We love you guys. And again, like I say, knowledge is not power. The application of knowledge is where the power is at. So go out there and live 100-fold, fam.